have some fantastic restaurants in the city.
Nothing in yours on each side.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like a box full of people that I thought. Done. Finally.
This is honestly my favorite overall coffee shop in the city.
See what's in the bottom of your thing there.
Donuts are the best donuts in the city, in my opinion. They're extremely fresh, they're not overly sweet, and they have an excellent variety of flavors. The coffee here is just okay. It's sort of diner quality coffee, but this place just has a ton of character. It's been around for decades. It's located on 118th
remembers how
Avenue in Edmonton's
to
northeast end, which is
wrap
honestly
the
kind of a
ropes
rough
around
area
the
of city.
vacuum.
But this area just
Right,
has a
Yohan?
ton of character, and there are so many excellent places to eat along.
So mom's still learning how to do it
And
for you
sometimes
so that you
newcomers
don't
tend
have
to
to
avoid
explain
118th
everything what to do.
Avenue because they hear it has a bit of
We've been live?
reputation, which it definitely does. But in my
Okay.
opinion, Take 5 is overall the best coffee shop in the city. Their donuts are excellent, and this place just has a very old school vibe. And this is a really great place to meet a friend for a coffee, or just stop in and pick up a dozen donuts to go. And so I consider Take 5 to be the best casual coffee shop in the city, and honestly the best coffee shop overall, and the best donuts in Edmonton. Okay, the next category on my list is the best overall diner, and I'm talking about classic diners here. And my pick for this list
Seriously,
is
the
Commodore.
Commodore?
This is located right on Jasper Avenue in the heart of downtown Edmonton, and this restaurant has been around since 1942. It was opened by the Yi family, a prominent Chinese-Canadian family that opened many businesses in Edmonton. There was a fire in the original location of this restaurant in 1969, and after that, the restaurant moved one storefront to the east. And this place is easy to miss, honestly, and even a lot of people in Edmonton that have lived here their whole lives have no idea about this place. Although it's definitely very popular, especially with people that live downtown. This restaurant serves a variety of Chinese and Western dishes, and it just really has that classic diner vibe to it. They serve delicious comfort food, and the service is always
After
welcome.
supper.
And a lot of people in Edmonton might consider Route 99 on 99th Street to be the best overall diner in the city, and I love that place as well. But I think that Commodore is just a little bit better, particularly in terms of cleanliness and quality. And so if you're new to Edmonton and you're looking for a classic diner, then I think you can't go wrong by visiting Commodore Restaurant on Jasper Avenue. Okay, the next category on my list is upscale dining. I'm talking about fancier restaurants, somewhere where you might want to dress up, maybe a good place to take a date or have an anniversary or an event or something like that. And my personal favorite for this list is Ucholino. This is also located right on Jasper Avenue, and this is owned by a very prominent Edmonton restaurateur named Daniel Costa. He actually started 3 Italian restaurants right on Jasper Avenue: Corso 32, which is now closed unfortunately, Bar Brico, which still exists, and then Ucholino, which is the newest addition to this group of restaurants. Now, before Corso 32 permanently closed, I would have listed that as my personal pick for the best upscale dining in Edmonton. One way in which I think Edmonton's food scene really shines is in its Italian restaurants. A lot of this is due to the fact that Edmonton has the Italian Center shop. This is now a chain of grocery stores that specializes in imported European food. And Edmonton has really developed a very strong Italian community that is largely grown up around the Italian Center. And in my opinion, especially when you're looking at other Western Canadian cities, Edmonton just has a very strong Italian
Is Ruby
food
here?
scene. And this is showcased particularly
No, their
well
footprint is
in
getting
restaurants
bigger,
again in Costco.
even though the
And
community's
Cuti
about the
has
same size.
consistently produced excellent results. This place is reviewed very well, and we go through the
For
trouble
fuck's
of
sakes!
things in an authentic
God,
Italian
I
way,
hate this
using
place
authentic
sometimes.
Italian ingredients. And Edmonton really has a wide variety of fine dining options, and it was sort of hard to pick one over the others. A few years ago, I would have picked Red Ox Inn, which is my all-time
Oh, it's the
favorite
pressure
fine dining
difference.
establishment in Edmonton, and unfortunately, they were closed over the pandemic. But fortunately, Ucholino is still open, and so that place is my pick for the best upscale dining in Edmonton right now. All right, the next category on my list is best hamburger. I know burgers are very popular in North America, and most people enjoy eating them. And my personal favorite burger joint in Edmonton is Woodshed Burgers on 124th Street. I've only been there once, but honestly, the burger that I had from Woodshed was one of the best burgers I've ever eaten in my life. The patty was a mixture of Angus beef and wild boar, I believe, and I think it had wild boar bacon on it, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I also had fries and onion rings, which were also excellent, and they also do milkshakes and a variety of other popular sides, and this place is very well reviewed, and like I said, it was one of the best burgers I've ever had. When I was there, I actually had to wait a long time for my meal. We had pre-ordered, and then I went to pick it up, and then I ended up having to wait another 15 minutes or so while they were finishing the order, which is kind of annoying. But in terms of the quality, this place is absolutely fantastic, and it has become very popular in Edmonton. And it's just another one of the very popular restaurants along 124th Street, which in my opinion is becoming the best street for restaurants and shopping in the north side of Edmonton. And so in terms of the best burger in Edmonton, I definitely have to give that to Woodshed Burgers. Okay, the next category on my list is best pizza. Obviously, pizza is very popular, and most people like to know where they can find the best pizza in their city. And in my opinion, the best pizza by far in Edmonton is Tony's Pizza Palace. The Tony's Palace special
totally
pizza,
disagree
no
with you.
mushrooms,
I
because
disagree.
why would anyone eat
I
fungus?
ate
Is
there with
honestly
the
the best
pizza
pizza I've
before.
ever
Yeah, I've
eaten in
eaten
my
there
life.
too.
They have
Wasn't
Italian cooks making the
fantastic.
food, and they use authentic Italian ingredients. I know this because many years ago, I worked for Edmonton's Italian Center, which delivered food to many different restaurants in the city. And every week, we would deliver a massive delivery of authentic Italian food to Tony's Pizza Palace. Not only is the pizza excellent, but I've also had really good steak and pasta at this location. And like I mentioned, this place has a really old school, authentic vibe, and I really like dining in when possible. And honestly, a lot of people will disagree with this pick. There are many other very popular pizza places in Edmonton, but in my opinion, Tony's is the best pizza in the city. Okay, the next category on this list is best desserts, and for that category, I think my personal favorite
that
is
one's a good
Duchess
place,
Bake
Duchess.
Shop. This is also located on 124th Street, just down the road from
Problem
Woodshed.
is,
And this
they
place
don't
is
really
extremely
carry a
popular.
lot of
I
stuff,
don't like
so if you're
every
not
single
there
product
early,
they have, but I
Yeah.
think
shit
that
out
this
of
is
luck.
generally considered to be the best, or definitely one of the best bakeries in the city. And in particular, I think that their pies are absolutely fantastic. One of the best desserts that I've eaten in Edmonton is the banana cream pie from Duchess Bake Shop. It's definitely very expensive, and it's probably cheaper to make these things on your own. But if you're in the mood to grab something sweet, I would definitely recommend Duchess Bake Shop. And be warned, this place gets extremely busy during peak hours. Okay, the next category on my list is best vegan restaurant. Now, I know not many people out there are vegan, but some people are, and they have very specific dietary needs. Now, I'm not vegan, but at one time I was. I ate a purely plant-based diet. And when I did, I frequented the Moth Cafe, and I consider this place to be the best vegan restaurant in the city. And like I said, I'm not vegan anymore, but I still enjoy going to this cafe, in particular for their coconut chai, which is one of the best chai teas I've ever had in my life. And I just love this place. Honestly, even if you're an omnivore, I would definitely check it out. The food is really good, the drinks are excellent, and the service is always impeccable. I also just love the atmosphere of this place. It has a very light, positive vibe to it, and I really think people should support this place in part due to its location. This is one of many places in the east side of Edmonton's downtown area, which traditionally has been a bit of a rough area of the city. But downtown's east side has really been rapidly improving over the past few years. And this is partly due to places like Moth Cafe, which provides excellent food, atmosphere, and service to local residents. And even though I no longer eat a strictly plant-based diet, I still occasionally visit this cafe because it's one of the best in the city. Okay, the next category on my list is best overall casual restaurant. I'm just talking about places that are good for casual dining, maybe a place to grab a quick lunch. And my personal pick for this category is Bulgogi House. And this is just an Edmonton institution. And in my opinion, this is the best Korean food in the city and one of my overall favorites in Edmonton. It's very unpretentious and casual. You can feel comfortable going into the restaurant, really whatever you're wearing and however you're feeling. And I always just get the beef bulgogi and the mandu dumplings. And honestly, this is some of the best food in the city. And I also like it because it's off the beaten path a bit. Edmonton has main strips like White Avenue and Jasper Avenue, which have a high concentration of restaurants. But some people never even make it to this little area of the city. And there's actually a bunch of great businesses in this area, and Bulgogi House is one of them. So if you're looking for excellent casual
still
food,
alive.
you can't go wrong with Bulgogi House.
Yeah.
And then the next category on my list is best bar or pub. Now, I'm not a big drinker. I don't go to clubs or pubs really at all. But if I were to go for a drink, I would go to Duggan's Boundary. This is actually on the same block as Bulgogi House. And this place has also been around for many decades. And this is just the perfect pub for hanging out. It's sort of the quintessential neighborhood pub. It's very casual, very friendly. There's always a great vibe in this place. And it really has a classic pub feel with the dark wood booths, dartboards, little stage in the corner, and warm, homey service. And similar to Bulgogi House just down the road, I really like how Duggan's Boundary is in a little corner of the city that is not as busy as places like White Avenue or Jasper Avenue. And in my opinion, Duggan's Boundary is just the best place to grab a drink in the city, and they also have excellent pub food. Okay, the next category on my list is the most
What do you mean I'm
Edmonton
too close?
restaurant. What I consider
In the
to
same
be
place I
most
am all the
quintessentially
time.
Edmonton restaurant, and that is Green Onion Cake Man on 118th Avenue. Green onion cakes are really the food that Edmonton is most known for. Now, green onion cakes are actually very popular in northern China, and many immigrants to
For the
Canada
Chinese
brought
food,
this
yeah.
food over with them. But the popularity of green onion cakes has really become very prominent in Edmonton, and this is now one of the foods that Edmonton is best known for. And you'll find green onion cake vendors at most major events and festivals in Edmonton. And the most well-known producer of these cakes in Edmonton is the Green Onion Cake Man, and he has a
They're good.
permanent store on 118th Avenue. Honestly, you can smell this restaurant about a block away. It just smells fantastic. And green onion cakes are wildly popular with Edmontonians, and I'm one of them. I absolutely love them, and I could eat 10 in one sitting. And like I said, green onion cakes really originated in northern China, and they weren't exactly invented in Edmonton, but this product has become very associated with Edmonton, and I consider the Green Onion Cake Man to be the most quintessentially Edmonton restaurant in the city. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I was going to give you the restaurant that I visited the most at the end of my list. Honestly, I don't eat out very often. I've been to all of the places I just listed, and I can definitely vouch for them, but I prepare the vast majority of my food and drinks at home. But if I've been really busy and I haven't had a chance to prepare something, or I just want to grab something really quick, McDonald's is my go-to place. It's very consistent, and I find the double hamburger to be one of the best value items you can buy in any restaurant. And in terms of
McDonald's.
You just showed how much of an idiot he is.
It's McDonald's. Why is McDonald's?
Rice.
The Oregon Trail? The pioneers ate on the Oregon Trail. The decline of KFC? What happened?
It's too expensive. Nobody's buying it the way they used to.
History of Canada. stop talking?
No, he doesn't.
Of course.
Talking is good as long as you have something to talk about.
Philippines. Philippines
Oil spill down in Manila Bay.
Oh. Capsizes. Ay, ay, ay. I hope not no.
There's an oil spill.
Yeah, but oh gosh, they just clean up Manila. Now there's a spill. Who's to blame? for
Johan, sit down properly.
I think things I wish before I
that? Capsized windows of the typhoon, maybe?
Probably. Who knows with Al Jazeera?
Reason number 231 to Reese's. You reduced your screen time this week. Except for, you're looking at a screen right now. Whatever, still counts.
A tanker carrying 1.4 million litres of oil has capsized off Manila Bay in the Philippines. Strong currents are causing the spill to spread quickly. 16 of the crew members on board the tanker have been rescued. One is still missing. Let's get more on this with Barnaby Lowe. He joins us live from Manila in the Philippines. So Barnaby, what exactly are you hearing about this
Small
oil spill?
tanker.
Right, so a tanker carrying 1.4 million liters of industrial fuel sank off the coast of Bataan early hours of Thursday. Now, Bataan is just in the northern Philippines, just a 5-hour drive from Manila. And according to the surviving crew members, 16 of them, 16 out of 17, they encountered rough sea conditions, and that is why the tanker capsized. Now, this information just in from the Philippine Coast Guard. They've quickly launched a search and rescue mission after they received mayday from the crew. And now, this just in, they have found the body of the missing crew member. So all crew members now accounted for. Unfortunately, that last crew member, the 17th crew member, has died. But there is another major concern. Now, this location is technically just off Manila Bay, as you mentioned. So it's not too far from Manila, and the Philippine Coast Guard has already spotted an oil slick that's about 2 nautical miles from where the tanker capsized. And if they're not able to contain this oil spill, it's possible that the oil spill will reach Manila. And there are fishing communities here, and of course this is the Philippine capital, so it is a very major concern. Just last year, there was a major oil spill south of Manila in the province of Mindoro, where a tanker with 800,000 liters of industrial fuel capsized, and it took 3 months to clean up that oil spill. So this is really going to be a major problem if that oil spill is not contained and reaches Manila.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the challenges in containing a spill like this, especially given the weather situation.
That's right. So, the tanker that capsized on Thursday morning, it actually happened right when Cuti was battering Taiwan and was exiting the Philippine area of responsibility. And so it's possible that bad weather conditions, bad sea conditions were being affected by Typhoon Gamy, but the Philippine Coast Guard isn't ready to make that conclusion yet. And in any case, it's very difficult right now for the Philippine Coast Guard and other government agencies to dispatch their assets to be able to contain the oil spill because the sea conditions are still very rough, and that's according to the Philippine Transportation Secretary earlier this morning when there was a command conference with Philippine President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. And so this is a very challenging mission for the Philippine Coast Guard. As I said, it took 3 months for the Philippine Coast Guard to clean up that oil spill in Mindoro. And in fact, even until now, more than a year after that happened, fishermen who are affected, they say
That's
that
in
they have
Japan.
not been paid. The government promised that they will be paid for damages because they lost their livelihoods, but they're still asking for that payment from the government. So it's not just the cleanup, but it's also compensating those who will be affected by the oil spill.
Okay, thank you for that, Barnaby Lowe, with that update from Manila. Let's get more on this with Leah Guerrero. She is the Greenpeace Philippines Country Director. She joins us now from Manila. Leah, so according to one aerial survey so far, this oil slick stretches several kilometers. What sort of an impact can an oil spill of this size cause if it's not cleared up as soon as possible?
Thanks for that question, and thanks for having me here in your new show. The impact will be very grave. It will be very serious, particularly since coastal communities in the Philippines are very reliant on fishing for livelihood. So in the report earlier by the reporter below, did say that the fisher folk have been the worst affected in the oil spill from last year. And this will be a similar case if the oil spill is not contained on time, and if it is, even if just a bit of it reaches the shores. A lot of the people who are living in Bataan province, where the ship capsized, are reliant on marine resources, on the sea, on tourism. Many of them are fisher folk, and they will definitely experience impacts from this thing.
And how difficult, what are the challenges involved in clearing up an oil spill like this? I mean, you're talking about the impacts from an oil spill from months ago, and the repercussions are still being felt right now.
I think it's fair to say that oil spills really leave permanent damage to the marine environment and to communities
Never
that depend on
permanent.
a
What are
healthy
you
marine
talking about?
environment. So even if, for example, an oil spill has been declared
God, I hate it
clear,
when they
there
talk like
are
that.
portions of the sea which never really recover. A lot of the cleaning
Nobody
and the
has
clearing that we see
seen a
are
live chat yet.
really the visible effect, the visible signs of the spill. But a lot of it is happening under the water, where these chemicals are affecting marine life and so forth. And if you look at that, the impact of an oil spill against the current changes, the climate crisis that's happening in the Philippines, for example, fisher folk having a hard time with fish catch because of the dwindling numbers of fish, because of warming of the seas, the dying of coral reefs. All of these acting together is really making life difficult for coastal communities. So that if we say, how long will the impact last? Until when will it be cleaned and so forth? It's not really just the cleaning or the cleaning of the oil spill that we're talking about. It's really the compounding effects on communities that are reliant on a healthy marine environment.
Okay, thank you, Leah. Thank you for talking to us on Al Jazeera. Leah Guerrero from Greenpeace there in Manila.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Why are you huffing? Stop huffing.
Awesome. Go on. Pepper is ready.
That
Ambition is on the inside. You can't see it. So that thing you love?
In the Philippine jungle, the so-called roads are mostly just sort of tracks. Serious accidents happen all the time.
Banal.
But for the farmers of the fertile high plateau, the Hasima Highway is the only possible route to deliver their goods in the valley.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's not a frickin' road.
Whoever drives here
It's a goat
must
trail at
forget about
best.
fear.
Yeah, no more this time those kind of transportation. Government don't allow.
When was this put out?
3 years ago, 8.7
No.
million views.
So 3 years ago, they still were doing it?
No,
This is a documentary made.
The Hasima Highway
it's
is situated in the
prohibited.
north
I don't know
Philippines,
where and
on the
why.
main island Luzon. The road is 166 kilometers long and runs through the high mountains up to an altitude of 3,000
From
meters.
Sagada to Baguio.
Sagada to
Albert
Baguio.
Kelly earns his living by
I'm
driving
very
the
much
jeepney.
familiar to that. Sagada to Baguio.
He calls his passengers into his taxi by beeping the horn. Twice a day, Albert has a fixed tour. From Sagada, high up in the mountains down to the valley, it takes just short of an hour. Every tour is an adventure. Up here in the high mountains, there's frequent fog and heavy rainfall.
We are used to these weather conditions. But it's very difficult for visitors to drive here. There's a lot of heavy rainfall and the fog is especially treacherous.
So is Sagada a nice area?
Sagada, yes.
Albert's jeepney is
And
20 years
it's,
old.
like I said,
and
the
compared to local
entire
standards,
here is a
relatively
mountainous
new.
region.
The vehicle is a replica of an American military truck. You'll find these jeepneys all across the Philippines. They are the main means of local transport.
Like how we have buses over here in
It's
Canada.
tiring if you have to drive every day. If you're lucky, you have a fast driver. But some of them drive so slowly, it's a time killer.
The locals expect the driver to drive fast. Safety comes second.
No, safety comes first.
Not there.
What? Why?
There are tourists.
You shouldn't be afraid to get on these old vehicles. The locals earn very little money, and so the ride to the next town shouldn't cost more than a few cents. Albert's jeepney will be used until it falls apart. The bad weather disappears just as suddenly as it arrived.
There's the sunrise.
Compared to Philippine standards, the climate in the mountains is extraordinarily chilly. Temperatures only very seldom rise above 25 degrees. Whoever wants to escape from the heat spends his holidays in Sagada, where it's cooler. Dennis lives on the outskirts of Sagada. He's a bus driver.
Before the journey begins, we have to check the tires, the screws, and the air pressure. You can tell by the sound whether they hold enough pressure.
Not with your hand, you
If you
can't.
don't have a puncture, you're all set for the trip on the Western Highway.
You're experienced drivers.
No, I'm an experienced driver. You still can't
Passengers.
determine pressure with your hand.
Services the bus, which
Yes.
includes
That's the
checking
dumbest
brake
thing
fluid,
ever.
as the Hasima highway is steep.
No, it's not.
You may run into an obstacle behind every curve. Dennis can tell just by hearing its sound whether the engine is running well.
You're not a mechanic, babe.
As long
They are
as the
mechanics.
engines
I used to have to do all the repairs on a frickin' semi.
will manage
It's
the
part of
trip.
what I did. An oil patch.
The older your vehicle is, the more you need to look after it in order to safely make the journey on the highway.
Alright, kids, this is the part where you do the things you grown up. Just so these on.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single
Want some more, Savannah? Savannah, you want some more?
Showcase them dynamically.
Not this.
And seamlessly track your inventory.
Get this one.
Accept multiple
And
secure
the
payments.
pasta.
And design your storefront down to the very last.
On this morning, jeepney driver Albert is bringing a few tourists up the mountains. Albert loves these extra tours. They are the icing on the cake for him.
When I'm driving, I get to know different people and make new friends. I like that. It makes driving so much fun. And sometimes I'm lucky.
Basically, the other voice is the translator.
When you fall, you're going to the deep.
The art student
Pretty amazing.
Rocky and his
When you
friends
fall,
have
you're
taken
dead.
their seats on the roof. They are heading for
That'd be a
Cuti,
hell of a
where
drop.
a legendary tattoo artist lives.
There are places in Canada like
But
that though
afterwards,
too.
your skin is very sensitive. You have to be very careful with
Oh,
your
sorry,
own.
you're
Look, that's a unique design for this region. And what about you? Are you getting a tattoo?
That's why I told you. I can drive here, but not in the
Kalinga
Philippines.
is an isolated and remote
I'm
village in the
scared.
mountains. To get there, you must travel a track that branches off Hatsima Highway for the last kilometers. Albert picks up a couple of students on his way. They are happy to get a ride.
Jesus. Those are dirt roads. Those aren't major highways by any stretch.
A few bends further up, Albert's jeepney comes to a halt. This is where the road ends. Rocky and his friends have to walk up the mountain the last few kilometers. Kalinga is a retreat for some of the Philippine
Kalinga.
Aboriginal natives. Their culture always has been rather warlike. The tattoos were supposed to deter enemies.
Ah, Jesus!
Is 96
No,
years
thank
old.
you.
Her legendary reputation as the oldest living tattoo artist reaches
Hello.
far beyond her home village.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nope.
Come
No,
on.
thank you.
Old
Yes,
one.
I'm in
I
my
can
90s.
remember.
I still tattoo because we need the money. Otherwise, we wouldn't have enough to eat. We don't have any paddy fields. I have no choice. If no one supports me, I'll have to keep on tattooing.
Fang Odd just needs a bamboo cane, a needle, and some coal.
Jesus. Ah, that would be painful.
Yeah, that's the most painful
Back
thing.
in the old days, you used to get a tattoo like this if you went to war. You'd get one if you killed someone too. That's how our ancestors did it. Tattoos were mainly connected
Me,
to war.
I use those temporary tattoos, but just like the water style ones,
Both a
more
test
than
of
that.
courage and a desire to closely experience the
And
traditions.
summarize, Ivan? Huh?
Answer the question.
No.
No, thank
As long as there is
you.
a road leading up to Kalinga, this place will remain remote. So for another while, the traditions will be preserved.
That literally does look like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Back
Yeah,
in Sagada, Dennis
it
and
is.
his cross-country bus is already
But at
waiting
least
for
you're far
passengers.
away from the city.
Every hour, the buses drive from Sagada all the way along the Hasima Highway to the city of Baguio, almost 150 kilometers away.
Baguio?
Mm.
It
Does he
takes
mean
them 7
Baguio?
to 8 hours.
Baguio.
What is
Which is the proper way of pronouncing it?
Baguio.
So he pronounced it incorrectly.
Bus driver Dennis drives along the Hasima Highway every day.
You'd get used to the road, but
You know what? I like the Hasima. It's my home.
For the inhabitants of the mountains, the bus is the cheapest way to cover greater distances, no matter whether they need to get to the nearest city or even to Manila. Dennis has been working as a bus driver for 25 years. He never takes a break. Only if the bus breaks down would he take a day off. He only gets paid if he drives.
yeah, but if you enjoy doing it, then it's not really work, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He obviously enjoys it.
I always told them.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a financial side to it too. He wants to keep the money coming, right?
The
Yeah.
route leads from Sagada
Like what
down
you
to the
said
river
before,
valley of the
what you
Chico
said
River.
earlier.
Find something
From
you're
there, it
passionate
leads
about,
on through
and
the
you'll
craggy
never work
mountains
another day in
of
your life.
Buyas.
The do ya?
In the
Wow,
meantime,
look how rugged
the
that is,
Hudson
though.
Highway has been asphalted in most parts, but up here, coming down from Sagada, the road still looks the same as decades ago.
No,
Narrow,
that's not that bad.
bumpy,
It's
and dusty.
some of those other ones that we've seen already. Those are
There
worse.
used to be hardly any hard shoulders.
Yeah, I would be
A
more
trip
worried
to
about all that
Baguio
shit
would
falling
often take
down.
more than 10 hours.
Like landslide.
That's
Sandy
exactly
is
what it is.
21 and works as a bus conductor. He sells the tickets on
That's
the bus.
scary.
A ride to Baguio costs 220 pesos, which is not even 4 euros. For most of the locals, it's half a day's wage.
That's a little tight for a bus, though.
The bus slowly struggles down the
It's
road.
a long time coming because it's the fare. It's only 20 peso now. There's no such as 20 peso.
Yeah, they were saying it's
Construction
200
workers
peso
need to
now.
watch out
Yeah.
for many buses and trucks.
So it's a long. They only posted three years ago, but all the
Whatever the mixer spits out will be spread out on the road surface by the workers'
it's
shovels.
a long time that they
Hard
ban
physical labor.
top load, as we call it.
If we get tired, we slow down. Yeah. But if we have good food, it means we're stronger.
Okay, that is about as
If we
Filipino
have
as you
proper
can get.
food,
Yes.
we're happy and strong enough to even carry bigger stones and build walls.
So why is it that Filipino culture is like that, though? Like,
I don't know.
it's unique. Like, you don't see that very many other places in the world.
Whoever works here has to learn to make the most of it. Sometimes there'll be no cement for a whole day,
I'm done.
which means sitting around all day and waiting. But as they say, somehow it always works out. The many roadworks on the Hasima Highway have been obstructing the traffic
Yes.
for many years now. The drivers have learned to be patient. They hope that one day there will be a paved road leading down the mountain.
Okay, it's these style roads right here that
Dennis
make me
battles
nervous
his
as
way
hell.
down the road every
Right here.
day.
Oh, you missed
Yeah.
it.
Look
Check
at
it
that,
out. I'll show
almost.
you. No, I'll show you here. You'll see the
The
road.
many roadworks
These,
on the Hasima Highway have been obstructing the traffic for
Right after
many
this.
years now.
Halsema is now a
drivers have
good
learned to be
highway.
patient. They hope that one day there will be a paved road leading down the mountain.
just watch here, son. This is the kind of road
Yeah.
that would scare the shit out of me.
Untiringly, Dennis battles his way
Like
down
that,
the
you're
road
doing some
every
serious
day.
seat munching because that's too freaking close to that kind of a drop. Like, damn.
That's still better than other countries that we watch.
Well, like India and Pakistan
Yeah.
have far worse roads than
Worse
that,
roads,
but
yeah.
those guys are insane.
But at least a lot of that area is now concrete.
Fall down the canyon.
It takes how many years to make it complete?
Which have been going for 15 years.
During the rainy season, typhoons and huge masses of water
But all it
often
would take
lead
is
to
one slip and
landslides
you're
and
screwed.
block the
Yeah.
road. At the dangerous spots, the workers build supporting walls into the mountain to stop the slopes from sliding. In some
Well, it's
places,
like one of your
the
cousins
street is a construction site,
where he
a
got
road,
swept away
and
with the
church
landslide,
and
right?
School, all at the same time.
My nephew, he's my nephew.
Nephew. That's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
When Dennis has finally passed the last major roadworks with his bus, he arrives at a well-paved section of the Hasima Highway.
Yeah, see, that's not bad there. Still, if you had a tire blowout, that'd be a little scary.
The road follows the course of the Chico River for a few kilometers.
Hi, Dad.
During the rainy season,
Savannah.
it rises and turns into a torrent.
I'm watching this. What?
What about that?
It takes courage and
Jeez.
intuition
Look at this
to
bridge.
master the bridge across the Chico. For years, it's been a patchwork bridge
Frickin'
made
hell.
of old logs and planks.
Yuck. I don't like bridges like that. I've been on ones like that up north, but there's always frozen ground
The
underneath.
same morning, Albert is
Oh,
driving
get
his
it.
taxi along the Chico River too.
Hey, Dad.
Yes,
Can I have earn my tablet?
what did your mummy say?
He's driving
Is there any
a
other
very
chores
special
you needed
tour.
her to do?
Young
No.
musicians and dancers.
They
Albert
can
is
have
taking them from
She
their
can
high
have
school
it.
to a performance at
Not
the district
yours.
town of
Well, did you
Pontotoc.
get in trouble again?
Yeah.
What did you do this time?
We finished it.
If
Johan,
the jeepney is full, the remaining passengers have to
you
sit
need to
on
start
the roof.
smartening up.
That's World Worships. May I have my tablet, please, Dad? Thank you, Dad.
That's something I haven't done in about 2 months.
Right! Nice! What language is that?
Japanese.
Japanese. World of Warships. I wonder if you can
I
actually
tell you though,
do that.
this is Bone Talk.
The
Oh, this
Yeah.
is pretty decent size, huh?
are much higher
Yeah.
and are favorable for the traditional cultivation of rice.
That's the used to be a capital of Ifugao. It's part.
been there?
Yeah. No,
You've never been there?
never been there.
Yeah, the buildings look quite old though.
Yeah.
The rest of the passengers had to get off at the outskirts of Bontoc. In the city, passengers are not allowed on the roof, but making music is always allowed.
There it goes in. So in certain areas they still allow passengers on the roof.
I don't know. That sounds is.
Traditional culture and the tribal rituals are still very much alive here. Every school often has various groups who perform dances in the city squares.
ancestors and models. Back then, everyone went out hunting for boars, deer, or water buffaloes. They were warriors, went out hunting in the
What type of boar do you have there?
I don't know.
After the tour is before the tour. Albert has 4 kids. His wife earns some extra money by running a little shop, but that is just about enough to sustain the family.
What was called sari.
Mm-hmm.
I need to always be ready to drive.
Johan.
When I reach my destination, I go looking for customers here in the city. I take a look around.
Why is the bird back out?
That's the best I can do. Maybe I find a few tourists. Make some extra money. I only have to be prepared, then it'll work.
This is Lynette, the bird.
And so, Albert has to try his luck on the Hudson
Yeah.
Highway every day. and night.
Chirping. Where's the chirping?
She's looking at you thinking she's going to be fed. Yo, just back off.
Are you going to ship her?
The highway is
Hi.
named after its constructor.
How are you?
The American engineer
You want to come over here, or you just want to run
It
around
was
there?
first designed
Go
as a
on a
footpath
while.
in the 20s of the last century. For the people living here,
Over to mommy then.
the Hudson is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It gives the contribution
Oh, no, 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 no.
Careful of her wing.
lives.
No, 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 no. Stay here with me, okay? Stay here.
She wants to be
Up
fed.
until today, it is considered
Is the
to be
food
one of
ready?
the most dangerous roads
Yeah.
in the world.
Where is it?
due to
It's
its
there,
bad
over there,
condition.
at on the
For
table.
Dennis and his passengers, the Hatsima is a true challenge every single time.
I think by now I know every single turn on the house line. With the amount of time I spent driving it, the street has engraved itself into my memory.
He is not hungry.
I know the slippery parts
He is not hungry.
I'm not hungry right now.
and the sections with
Unless there was worms.
Many horrible accidents have
Oh, and I
claimed
put my
lives here,
finger
and
in the
cars have
dry.
fallen
No,
into
he
the
does not
abyss.
open.
This section might
Yeah,
be
but
the
it's a
worst.
bit of it.
If you apply the brakes carelessly, you start skidding immediately.
The passengers are aware of the dangers too.
The worms.
This
I wonder
section
how
of the
she would
street is
react
so
with the
many
worms.
bends.
And the worms.
It's so high up it scares me. I'm already exhausted, and it's better if I just keep my mouth shut.
Everyone here has heard stories of horrible accidents.
Mhm.
Are there any worms?
No more worm.
There are many reasons why so many accidents happen. Most of them happen because of technical problems with the old cars. The weather also plays a role.
We can't find
There's
them.
dense fog, rain, and worst of all, typhoon.
Find some worms?
No.
That's the way things
I'll
happen.
check the skin of the dead worms.
No protein.
This road has claimed many lives.
But the Hatsima also offers economical opportunities. A dozen small
Smart
towns
Alec.
make money in this village with the passing traffic. More than 50 buses stop here every day.
Jesus. 50 buses in one place. A lot of buses.
People.
But I guess it's the primary mode of travel for most people, huh?
We buy
Yeah.
a kilo in the city and then put it in small bags. This is garlic flavored, and this is sweet peanut.
Business goes especially
What
well
does
on the
this
public
do?
holidays. That's when everyone working in the big cities drives back to the
Bubbles.
families in the mountains.
Look, mommy. I can add effects.
After taking
Johan.
a short break, Dennis continues to force his bus along the winding road.
Johan.
I'm just going to put beam. You can add an effect to it, Mom.
The Hatsima Highway also attracts tourists. Bikers from the capital city appreciate
That's a
the
bit
winding
brighter,
ride on
Mom.
the legendary highway. For a week, this group is traveling the mountains with their historic British military
Let's just keep
motorcycles.
this. Johan. There.
Last night was a trial of courage for the motorcycle
Look.
club from Manila.
Look,
They had
look
to
at
endure
that.
continuous rainfall with poor visibility for several hundred
I'm gonna go
kilometers.
show her to Savannah.
This road is not a joke. Actually, it is my first time here, and I am lucky enough to have these guys with me.
There's a
It was
special
great.
guest.
Last night was fun. Adrenaline, thrills. You cannot even see the road because of the fog. And it's raining. And we are very, very cold. That is nice. Landslide.
Basically, it's dangerous actually. We're not saying it's a good thing to do.
Eyes on the battle, not your screen, Commander.
What is this picture? Skip.
After last night's wild ride, the bikers are taking it easy today on their winding tour, leading ever deeper into the remote mountains of the high plateau.
You got a new buddy. Turn back the page.
In the meantime, Dennis has already covered half the distance of the Hatsima Highway.
Turn back in our
He has
page.
arrived at the Philippine Salad Bowl.
That's right.
This is where all the vegetables for the region and the capital city, Manila, are grown. The Hatsima provides the farmers with everything they need for agriculture. Off the highway, there are still almost only wild tracks, though. Romeo Cagayan is a farmer. In order to reach his field, which is 3 kilometers away, he must endure a good shaking. A strain for man and material.
When we arrive home after this stretch, we can still feel the road. Your hips are hurting. Your body's tired. This path really wears you down. You should have your wife giving you a massage afterwards.
Today, Romeo and his helpers are harvesting radish and cabbage. Afterwards, he has to drive the harvest directly to the central market at the end of the highway. Prices are higher if he sells fresh from the field.
Put it back in our cage. Go down. What? Put
His
it back in our
helpers
cage.
have already started working. There are no reapers. Everything is
He
done by
doesn't
hand.
like you. Put it back in the cage. And
The radish is
they
washed
took
and
a dump in
packaged
her
already
water
in the field.
again.
The wholesalers expect it that way.
Mom, they took a dump in her
Romeo's job
water.
as a farmer
Never
has
mind.
changed considerably over the past years.
She has
The
to
highway
water.
has become
It's
much
a
more
dump.
important for him.
I mean, people is in the
Well then,
water.
Johan, take it out.
I used to only be a farmer. When I bought a truck, I suddenly had 2 professions, farmer and driver. Because I delivered vegetables for everyone. I have employees that do the planting for me because I'm mostly driving now.
Time to go. Mom, I have to wash. There's bird feeder.
Go, go.
Where do I wash it at?
On down sink.
Make sure you clean the sink after.
Julius Kuryab is a sales representative for a seed company. There is strong competition, and so he visits the farmers in the fields to find out what they need. On these narrow paths, it's much quicker to take the motorbike. This way, he can visit up to half a dozen clients a day.
How are you?
Lucas from Seaworks. Since you're growing carrots, I brought some seeds for you to try out. This way, Romeo is able to order his seeds right in the middle of his field. It's good for business to come here by motorcycle, and we're used to these kinds of roads. It's normal for us, even if it's just a bumpy track. We've learned to live with it.
Romeo and his men must hurry. If they want the goods to be on the market today, they have only a few hours left. If Romeo arrives too late, he has to wait until the next day, a great financial loss because the price will have gone down. Meanwhile, Dennis is still driving his bus through the salad bowl. He and his passengers have already made it halfway. Time for lunch break. The passengers leave the bus somewhat stiff-legged after the long, winding journey. They have 20 minutes to move around and quickly take a bite of something. Dennis has been loyal to the Morningstar restaurant for 25 years now, ever since he started driving the Hasima. The lunch costs 100 pesos, almost 2 euros. For most people, it's a lot of money, and not everyone can afford it. Dennis and his conductor Sandy enjoy free catering. After all, their buses bring customers.
We always eat here. We eat quickly so we can move on quickly and get home early.
Mom, I fell into the water.
You had a visitor.
Okay.
Can you describe him for me? He told me to kill you right here in this room.
Take a fresh water wick before I put it in. How did you get
Footlong all summer long with the Great Canadian Club, the Canadian favorite and part of the Subway series.
Mom, now what
Eat
is that
quickly,
going to do?
move on quickly, and
What's
drive
that?
quickly. They haven't yet made half the journey, and there are still many minutes to come. A few kilometers further on. Again and again, severe accidents occur on the highway. Last year, a school bus with 15 students crashed and fell 100 meters into the canyon. 12 students died, the others were badly injured. This exercise is supposed to prepare paramedics for the many accidents.
All of us are paramedics from the region. We practice for emergencies as realistically as possible. These horrible things happen here, so we practice a lot to learn new techniques and get a feel for the situation and how serious the injuries are.
Farmer Romeo's house is in Buguyas, situated directly at the highway. From here, it's not far to the fields, and he can head off straight to the central market. As always, his wife tells him to drive carefully. Too much has happened, and she knows that Romeo is in a hurry to be at the market on time. takes 3 to 4
Oh,
hours to
yes.
reach the city of Baguio with its 500,000 inhabitants.
Baguio. Baguio.
Romeo has been driving the highway for more than
Yes.
20 years,
Oh, yes.
rain or shine. Even a bad typhoon couldn't stop him a couple of years ago. Once he had a brake failure, and he just about managed to save his truck by driving into a wall. Romeo knows the old cars are always good for a surprise.
Wala tayong magawa.
The filter was filled with dirt, so I must have to repair. Oh, this is we'll fix it there. No.
Romeo is not only a farmer and a driver, but also a car mechanic by now. He owns several old trucks, and one of them could always break down.
No, you're not going to your computer, Johan.
No, go check the laptop.
Gagawin mo.
What can you do?
Gagawin mo yan mag-isa.
You have to watch out for yourself,
Repair, gabi man o
even in the middle of the night.
alam.
Do not rely on others when it comes to fixing your own truck.
Huwag kang umasa na
Not such a big deal. The air filter is dirty, and Romeo can clean it himself. It doesn't even take half an hour to repair the damage.
Oo nga, kala kaya kung nasira ka
Things like these happen often here. We're prepared,
ako sa biyahe.
but only if you fix it immediately you can save your goods. I need to be at the central market on time, or else my vegetables will go bad.
Presyo at saka yung karga mo hindi mo bro.
Let's go look at all my sister's drawings.
So now Romeo will drive even faster in order to not have to queue up until the next morning and not have to sleep over at the central market.
Hey, we get to see a self-looking angel right over there.
Making your thing happen. Really going for it. Doing business on your terms. Giving it your all. Making a difference. And loving what you do. Every single day. Feeling fearless. Fulfilled. Free. When there's nothing holding you back. What would your thing be?
Everywhere along the highway, the farmers and their families have settled it.
Red Gotcha Club. Okay. Titan TV Man. Doesn't work with the digital focus. The Flower Pro. More digital focus. Walking at decoration. Ew. Why is Tony even on my phone? Skibidi. Looking at my sister's drawings. Hope I don't see anything in there. Why do I see Michael Pokemon? Why do I keep on seeing Pokemon and Minecraft in it? Like literally, okay, more Bloxburg, a Bloxburg plan, Titans, really? Ten family. More Afton family. Savannah, who did better, me or you for the spelling? Actually, I did better. Look at this. Okay, since I see whatever this thing is, so what the heck is this thing right over here? Sana, what the heck is this thing right over here? Sana. Hey Savannah, what is this thing right over here? And what is Chicken Nugget doing there? Okay, we're gonna go find more. Goldilocks fruits. The kitsune fruit doesn't even look like kitsune fruit. Buddha flute looks nice. Love fruit looks nice. Spirit fruit doesn't look that okay. What the heck? Why does spirit fruit look like that? Grapefruit doesn't have purple on it. Sound food isn't black. Magma food doesn't have blue. And kitsune food doesn't have red. Hey Savannah, why do I see ugly demon Akazab? Savannah, why do I see ugly demon Akazab? So one of my favorite characters, ugly demon Akazab. Okay, I see a clear page from that now. Well, how many circles are there? Savannah, how many circles are ripped up by the Titan's Roman? Titan's Hammerman, now there's lots of stars. Now Titan's Hammerman is pissed off. What is the left? Why did Director's Hammerman say a swear word? Titan TV Man in a penguin pajama. Sports DVD. I know Titan Cameraman is dead and all, but he didn't have to make a good art of Titan Cameraman being dead. But when can Titan Cameraman come back? Okay, Last of Us doesn't look that much like a Last of Us, but that's still fine. Look at all just looking with that big boy. Royal Queen. A Gold Among Us versus my sister's Gold Among Us. Mine's better. Okay, why do I see more like a left? Rockford Plan. Okay, that's good. You still have a bit more pages left. I said a bit. The drawings are good, but when can Savannah go to mine? Like, I know Savannah doesn't like my favorite game. This was my favorite game. If you ever say that Blue's cheese sweets is bad, you kind of like farting on people. It's like a or sus. game mode called Jumpstart in Bundesliga 2, and it's my new favorite game mode because you start off with a random amount of eco you get after 2 seconds. You get a random amount. For money, you get a random amount, and for a random amount. But you can choose your and your little towers. But if you ever say that something kind of like you shouldn't use Iron Man and Jericho or any of the Jerichos, I'll choose Ocean Open for it. But guess what Ocean Open has? Well, Ocean Open has like piranhas. But he shoots out shark spirits, so why do we have piranhas or his pet? And for his offer,